All right, guys, welcome back to our next session. Uh, Very quickly, I'm just going to, take quick attendance again to see who is attending the second session quickly. Abdurrahman Sobh. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a few seconds to get all in from the waiting room. Okay, Abdurrahman Sobh. Abdurrahman. Okay, how about Adam Al-Fahla? Okay, Adil. Okay, Adil is not here. Ahmad Sabir. Okay, Ahmad is not here. Adil, Ahmad Sabir Gasser is not here. Hassan, you're here. Ibrahim, here.
Yes, yes, here.
Okay. Kareem is here. Walid
I'm
is here. Mark is here.
here.
Muhammad Walid is here. And Rahma,
Here.
okay, you're here. Marwa,
Here.
okay, perfect. And Adam Wasil, you're here. And Yasser, Yasser, okay, Yasser is out. Alrighty, and Yusuf Dahroug,
Here.
perfect. And Ward, you're here. Ganna,
Here.
perfect. And Hannah,
Here.
okay. Jomana, okay, not here. And Judy is not here. All right, Mariam,
Here.
Zaina,
Here.
Noura, Noura, okay, Noura's not here. And Ruqayya,
Here.
okay, Cecilia, not here. And Tala,
Here.
okay, perfect. All right, so again, Aidil, Ahmed Sabir, Gasser, Yasser, Jumana, and Judy, and Noura, and Cecilia. Okay. All right, so the last thing that we discussed was the narrator of the story here is the younger sibling that we saw from the illustration, which is Katie. Okay, the story or the novel is written in first person point of view, just like The Outsiders. But here we see that the person telling the story is a young Japanese American girl. By at that time she's at the age of 5. Right, when she moves to Georgia, so we know that she is younger, a little
Miss,
younger than what we predicted. Yes.
Miss, I read a part of the story and it says that they are sisters, and the problem is that she used Kira that's glowing at everything that she liked. Like
Exactly.
she said like Bobby, she called it Kira, kitten Kira, but her mother didn't like it, so she told her that you don't use everything Kira.
Exactly. That's absolutely correct. Her mom said that they were overusing the word Kira, or Katie was, all right? And we're going to learn also that she is, going through that, or she's so attached to the word because her sister taught her that word. Okay? Yes, Tala?
Yeah.
Miss, is there a movie of the novel like The Outsiders?
Not that I've seen. No, I didn't see that one turn into a movie. No.
Miss, I also saw that her mother told her got a ticket for her to go to Japanese. So she said, "I'm okay if her bigger sister will go with her."
Right, right. We're gonna learn that Katie is very attached, as we saw, like in the illustration here. Katie is very attached to her older sister Lynn. Okay, so we're gonna see here a little bit about Cynthia. This is Cynthia Katahora, your author. She's also a Japanese American. Okay, she's a Japanese author, and that's why she likes to include Japan in a lot of her writings and the Japanese traditions. Okay, she was born in 1956 in Chicago, Illinois. uh, she's an American born, however her Japanese parents, so she comes from a Japanese family. Cynthia Katahura is a second generation Japanese American. That means that her parents are from Japanese descent, uh, but they were also born in the United States. All right. Especially Katahura was born in Chicago, Illinois. Even though she hailed from Chicago, most of her childhood was spent on the road. All right. They traveled a lot. All right. And this is what she was saying. While her parents were married, her mother was a homemaker. And after her parents' divorce, her mom took on other jobs. Okay, Cynthia Katahora talks about, here that while she was in high school, they moved a lot. She even dropped out of school. All right, like soda pop. Okay, she didn't finish her education because she felt simply that she did not fit in. She was very shy, and she felt like she didn't fit in. It got to the point that going to the grocery store and talking to the cashier really made me nervous. After leaving school, the teen took a job as a clerk in a department store and flipped hamburgers at a fast food restaurant. When she was 18 years old, Katahora was admitted to LA's City College. She later transferred to the University of Southern California, where she received a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism. So we know that she had a passion for writing, but again, we saw that here that Cynthia herself had some struggles. All right, here with herself and her shyness. She didn't feel that she fit in. It was very difficult for her to communicate with people, that she even dropped out. And she took on jobs like fast food restaurants, making burgers, and being a clerk in stores. Okay, so we see here a little struggle, but she was able to overcome it and finish her education. Okay, after graduation, 21-year-old Katahora had a life-changing experience when a car jumped the curb and barreled into her as she was walking down the street in Los Angeles. So she was hit by a car, and the car accident left her with a broken collarbone and severely damaged right arm. It also made Katahora realize that anything could happen at any moment. Okay, that life is unpredictable. All right, so this is one of her life-changing events that made her realize that anything can happen to us at any moment. All right, then she talks about here Kira Kira. Okay, she talks about Kira Kira, that in 2005 she got a call to tell her she was alerted by phone at exactly 4:26 a.m. that she won the John Newbery Award, the one that is printed on the cover of our novel. Excuse me. And she says here that, of course, she jumped up and down like an idiot. Okay, this is how she describes it. She was so happy, of course, that her novel won such an award. Okay, uh, so again, Kira Kira um, is a teen novel or an adult novel for children. Okay, it's good to be read, and it's interesting, and we're going to start it now, inshallah. Okay, so this is just about our author. Good to know that we learned this from day one, that the author's personal life is always it always interferes and helps us understand the why did the author choose to write about these topics. Okay, so remember that your reading that you're responsible for is chapter 1 and 2. Okay, and okay, Hannah, I saw that I'm going to I didn't I removed you from the absence list for set for session. Okay, so you guys are going to be responsible for reading chapter 1 and 2. I'm going to start chapter 1 with you now from the link that Hassan provided, Ibrahim provided, and Hassan helped. And also, you guys, I gave you the link on the group. our Facebook group, and I also copied the link into a Microsoft document and I posted it in SMS so that you could also find it there.
Miss,
Yes.
I sent a full screen link in the group.
Oh, you did? Okay. Perfect. All right. So this could help us look at the thing bigger, right? Okay. Thank you, Hassan. Appreciate it. All right. So chapter 1. Remember, Katie
No,
is.
it's a full screen. Instead of this, this has some borders. This
Oh, I get it. I get what you're saying.
He sent a PDF file.
Oh, a PDF file. Okay. All right. I'm going to open it. You sent it on the chat or the group, the big group, the chat.
the group
He
Ibrahim
sent me
made.
that on Messenger.
Okay. Messenger. Perfect, Ibrahim. Hassan, thank you. Okay, thank you, Hassan. Appreciated efforts, really. All right, so here, chapter 1 starts off. This is chapter 1. It starts off. My sister Lynn taught me my first word, Kira Kira. All right, so here we see it's written in first person point of view. Here it says
And they are sisters.
exactly. They are sisters. We know that the relationship is of a sisterhood, and here we see that the first person narration with the word my. All right, and here it shows that Katie is talking about herself. Okay, I pronounced it ka but she knew what I meant. Kira Kira means glittering in Japanese. Lynn told me that when I was a baby, she used to take me onto our empty road at night, where we would lie on our backs and look at the stars, while she said over and over, Katie, say Kira Kira, Kira Kira. I loved that word. When I grew older, I used Kira Kira to describe everything I liked: the beautiful blue sky, puppies, kittens, butterflies, and colored Kleenex. And Kleenex is tissue. Okay, so here we see that the beginning of the novel. Okay, it starts off with Katie describing the extent of her
Uh,
relationship with.
Mrs. Stars was Lynn teaching her sister Kira, but her sister Katie used it wrong a lot and used it for things that she loved.
Exactly. All right. So what does that tell you about the relationship between Katie and Lynn? Kareem, what
It's
would you what the
it's it's
They have a
good.
good.
They are like good together.
Okay, good. All right. What about you, Kareem? Go ahead. Good job, Muhammad.
Uh,
Perfect.
I want to say that Katie is a narrator here.
Yes, Katie's the narrator. Okay, and she starts off the novel by expressing the relationship between her and Lynn. All right, and she says here that Lynn taught her the first word, and that that word she loved it, and she uses it to describe everything that she likes. All right, so here again is the narrator is reinforcing the idea that Lynn has a big influence in her life, and she considers her someone who
Her friend,
yes.
not
Okay,
like her sister.
exactly. My mother said we were misusing the word. You could not call a Kleenex Kira Kira. She was dismayed over how un-Japanese we were and vowed to send us to Japan one day. I didn't care where she sent me so long as Ling came along. All right, so here we see that mother has an issue, or she has something that she's worried about. What is making mom dismayed or upset? Remember, the word dismay means to be upset. Why is mom
because
upset?
uh, because she doesn't want her daughter to use a word for her laughing something.
Okay, because they're misusing a Japanese word, but what is making mom worried about their misuse to a Japanese word?
That
What is the deeper
that if
conflict?
Len teaches her more Japanese words, she would use them the same way as Kira Kira.
Right. So mom is afraid that the girls. Remember, where are the girls being raised? Remember, we are in
America.
I. Yeah, we're in America. We're in Iowa, and mom and dad are actually, they're Japanese, from a Japanese heritage. And what do they want the girls to be? They want their girls to
To
also,
talk English.
mm,
To
oh,
talk
not
in
only
English.
that's is that what they want? They want their children to be Americanized. What would you say?
No, she doesn't want them to talk a lot of Japanese because they are in America, and most of people hates Japanese. Not all, but a little bit of them
Yes, we know that the
because
Japanese
get
here.
bullied or
Right. We know that the Japanese are facing some segregation and some discrimination. But let's read the sentence again. Our mom was dismayed or upset over how un-Japanese we were. So, what is the conflict mom is having? What can you tell us?
Of how they're starting to forget their Japanese traits.
Exactly. All right. Mom is worried or upset because, they're using the word kira kira in a wrong way. All right. Mom is saying, you cannot call Kleenex kira kira because Kleenex is not glittery or shiny. Okay. So she's worried that they're misusing the Japanese word, which reflects back or means that they are not understanding the Japanese words correctly, which is bringing her back to the idea of that they are letting go of their Japanese heritage and their Japanese upbringing. Okay, because they're becoming too Americanized. Okay, and mom used it as a threat, or kind of like she vowed or promised that if she finds out or she realizes that they are forgetful of their Japanese heritage, that she might take them back to Japan. Okay, so this is kind of like a threat. This is mom threatening the kids that they should always stick to their culture. Okay, and here she says she doesn't care. Muhammad mentioned that to us, that as long as she has Lynn by her side. So again, we see Katie's attachment to her sister. I was born in Iowa in 1951. I knew a lot about when I was a little girl because my sister used to keep a diary. Today, I keep her diary in a drawer next to my bed. Okay, so this part right here is very important. All right, this part right here is very important to understand. All right, so let's look at this idea here. All right, so Lynn says, sorry, Katie says that she knows a lot about her days when she was a baby because her sister told her a lot about it. And also, we learned that Lynn used to keep a diary. All right. And now this diary is with who? Who's holding on to Lynn's diary? Hannah.
Katie.
Katie. So what does that? Why would if you have a diary, why would Katie hold on to the diary? What would that make you think?
that they are separated.
Okay, so we can think that they're separated. Good job, Muhammad. All right. It's a good idea to think about something like that. Good job, Muhammad. All right. So again, we know that Katie learns a lot about her childhood from her sister because Lynn used to keep a diary. Okay, past tense. So we know that Lynn kept the diary. All right. And this diary now is with Katie. And Katie keeps it in her drawer next to her bed and reads from it. I like to see how her memories were the same as mine, but also different. For instance, one of my earliest memories is of the day Lynn saved my life. Okay, so here, this is, she's recollecting. Okay, she's recollecting memories from Lynn's diary. Okay, and of course, everybody lived the situation differently. Okay, Lynn wrote about these situations in her diary, but Katie also had a perspective about these situations, which is her own perspective. So Katie reading these about these situations in Lynn's diary helps her understand how Lynn thought of everything back then. So she's recalling that there's a day where Lynn saved my life. All right, I was almost 5 and she was almost 9. Okay, so we see that there's a 4 year age gap between them. We were playing on the empty road near our house. Fields of tall corn stretched into the distance wherever you looked. Okay, this is the image, I guess, that we saw in the illustration, the one that Wed told us about. Okay, so they were in a field of tall corn, grass stretched in a distance. And then a dirty gray dog ran out of the field near us. And then he ran back in. Lynn loved animals. Her long black hair disappeared into the corn as she chased the dog. The summer sky was clear and blue. I felt a brief fear as Lynn disappeared into the corn stalks. When she wasn't in school, she stayed with me constantly. Both our parents worked. Officially, I stayed all day with a lady from down the road, but unofficially, Lynn was the one who took care of me. Okay, so we know that the Japanese family, okay, we know the mother and father are both working parents. Okay, because again, remember, this is a poor Japanese family that living in the United States, so they're trying to improve their life. So both parents are constantly busy with work. Lynn is at the age of attending school, and Katie is still too young to attend school. So Katie, while Lynn is at school, uh, Katie goes to a lady who is taking care of her, acting like a babysitter, kind of. Okay, and then when Lynn comes back from school, this is when she overtakes the responsibility of taking care of Katie. All right, so here we see the family is very busy, and they have to cope with their lives. After Lynn ran into the field, I couldn't see anything but corn. Linny, I shouted. We weren't that far from our house, but I felt scared. I burst into tears. Somehow, Lynn got behind me and said, "Boo!" And I cried some more. She just laughed and hugged me and said, "You're the best little sister in the world." I liked it when she said that, so I stopped crying. The dog ran off. We lay on our backs in the middle of the road and stared at the blue sky. Some days nobody at all drove down our little road. We could have lain on our backs all day and never got hit by a car. That means, okay. So again, they enjoyed going into and laying and staring at the sky and the stars. Lynn said, "The blue of the sky is one of the most special colors in the world because the color is deep but see-through both at the same time." What did I just say? The sky is special. The ocean is like that too, and people's eyes. Okay, so we see here Lynn has a love for the color blue. Okay, the color blue that she sees in the sky, and the color blue that she sees in the ocean and in people's eyes. Okay, because it's deep, but it's also transparent. Okay, that's why she likes the color blue. She turned her head toward me and waited. I said, "The ocean and people's eyes are special too." And that's how I learned about eyes, sky, and ocean. The three special deep colored see through things. I turned to Linny. Her eyes were deep and black like mine. Okay, the dog burst from the field suddenly, growling and snarling. Its teeth were long and yellow. We screamed and jumped up. The dog grabbed at my pants. As I pulled away, the dog gripped my pants and his cold teeth touched my skin. "Ah!" I screamed. Lynn pulled at the dog's tail and shouted at me, "Run, Katie, run!" I ran, hearing the dog growling and Linny grunting. When I got to the house, I turned around and saw the dog tearing at Lynn's pants as she huddled over into a bowl. I ran inside and looked for a weapon. I couldn't think straight. I got a milk bottle out of the fridge and ran toward Lynn and threw the bottle at the dog. The bottle missed the dog and broke on the street. The dog rushed up to lap up the milk. Lynn and I ran toward the house, but she stopped on the porch. I pulled at her. "Come on." She looked worried. "He's going to cut his tongue on the glass." "Who cares?" But she got the water hose and chased the dog away with the water so it wouldn't hurt its tongue. That's the way Lynn was. Even if you tried to kill her and bite off her leg, she still forgave you. This is what Lynn said in her diary from that day. Okay, so let's just pause here for a second and let's analyze what kind of person or what kind of personality does Lynn have. First of all, is she sentimental and a sensitive person? Yes or no? Is she,
She
how?
is
Yes, can you
sensitive.
explain
And
how, Muhammad?
she is well I don't know the exact meaning of sensitive.
Sensitive, I mean like she's touched by the things around her in the world. All right, she's touched, and she's also very emotional, an emotional person. She has deep feelings. All right.
Yeah.
Um, oh,
Okay, so it's she tells Katie about the wonderful blue sky and the wonderful um oceans and the eyes, and Katie like answered her and told her yes, they're all wonderful, but and she's also that kind of forgiving, as Katie said that if somebody tried to kill her, she would forgive him right away.
good job. Perfect. Okay. So here we see that she is an emotional girl. She's very sentimental. She's touched by the world around her. We know that she has a love for nature. Okay. Not only nature, but also for animals. All right. She's very kind-hearted. She loves to enjoy, like Muhammad said, she loves the color blue. Because it's deep, but at the same time see-through or transparent, and that's what makes the color blue special, like the color of the sky and the ocean and people's eyes. Okay, we know that Lynn and Katie both have dark black eyes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you have something to say? Okay, and
What?
you were unmuted, honey. I thought you wanted to say something. Uh, so and again, and here we see that she also saved Lynn's life. All right. So here, Katie says that Lynn saved her life. Do you think that Lynn saved Katie's life, or Katie saved Lynn's life, or they both saved each other's lives? What do you think? What do you think, Marwa? So according to Katie, Lynn saved her life. Do you agree with this statement, Marwa?
Yeah.
Yes. How? How did Lynn save Katie's life?
when she saved her from the dog.
Exactly, Hassan. Okay, thank you. When she saved her from the dog by doing what?
Pulling his tail.
Good job. Okay, pulling the dog so that it would not, and telling Katie to make her run for it. Okay, telling Katie to run for her life, and of course, the dog turns around and does what? Starts to attack.
uh, Starts to attack Lynn. Then Katie go to her home, looked for a weapon. She found a milk bottle, so she threw it at him, but it didn't go for him. It like went away from him. So
Exactly.
the dog, when he smelled the milk, so he went to drink it. And
Exactly.
even though Lynn's hands were getting cut by the dog, she was still caring of the dog, and she said that poor dog, his tongue is gonna get cut by the glass. So she
Exactly.
went bring some water and to make him go away from the glass.
Exactly. Good job. All right. So in this, according to the situation, Katie here describes that her sister saved her life. All right. But in reality, we see that they actually both saved each other's lives. All right. Lynn did save her life in the beginning when she held the dog's tail and told her to make a run for home. Of course,
And then
Katie,
also save the dog's life
exactly, and
or the dog's tongue.
Katie, going back home and bringing the bottle of milk. And I remember back then, bottles of milk were in glass bottles, not like cartons like we have now and plastic bottle containers. Back then, the milk was, put in glass containers and dropped off by a milkman. Okay, and and here, Katie, if it wasn't for Katie, that dog also could have destroyed Lynn. All right, so here, I would say that they both saved each other's lives. Okay, Lynn saved Katie's life in the
And the
beginning,
dog's life.
and Katie, exactly, Katie saved Lynn's life by throwing that milk bottle. Because if it wasn't for that milk bottle, the dog would have continued to tug on and bite onto Lynn's leg. Okay, so here they both
And
saved.
then saved the dog's tongue.
And then exactly, then Lynn turns around and saves the dog's life because she does not want to see the dog licking the milk or slurping the milk uh, to hurt its tongue on the shards of glass or the little pieces of broken glass from the bottle. So she brought the water hose and she chased the dog away with the water. Now, this is what Lynn wrote about this incident. Now, we heard the Lynn from Katie's perspective. We heard the story from Katie's perspective, and this is how Lynn said it. The corn was so pretty. When it was all around me, I felt like I wanted to stay there forever. Then I heard Katie crying, and I ran out as fast as I could. I was so scared. I thought something had happened to her. Later, when the dog attacked me, Katie saved my life. So here, what do we see here about the two girls? They both think that they both saved each other's lives. All right, Katie. In Katie's eyes, Lynn saved her life, and in Lynn's eyes, Katie saved her life. Okay, so they both owe to each other the gratitude of saving each other's lives. Okay, so this is how kind and loving their relationship is. I didn't really see things that way. If she hadn't saved my life first, I wouldn't have been able to save her life. So really, she's the one who saved my life. Lynn was the bravest girl in the world. She was also a genius. I knew this because one day I asked her, "Are you a genius?" And she said, "Yes." I believed her because the day my father taught her how to play chess, she won her first game. She said she would teach me how to play if I wanted. She always said she would teach me everything in the world I needed to know. She said we would be rich someday and buy our parents 7 houses. But first, they would buy a house for all of us. That wonderful day was not far off. I found this out one afternoon when Lynn pulled me into the kitchen, her eyes shining. "I have to show you something," she said. She reached under the refrigerator and pulled out a tray. A worn envelope sat inside. She opened the envelope up and showed me what was inside: cash or money. So let's talk about what is Lynn's dream. All right, what is everybody has something that they want in life, and what does Lynn really want? All right, what does she want her parents to have? Kareem, what does she want her parents to have, or what does she want to provide for her parents?
Miss, can I say?
1 second, is Kareem gonna answer, or Muhammad, you can answer? Kareem,
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
7 houses.
All right, she wants to buy for her house or for her parents 7 houses. Why do you think that they're dreaming of a house? Why would they dream of a house? Why? What does that mean?
Uh, because she wanted to buy a house for every family member.
Okay, but why would Lynn want a house? Why, as children? Children usually want toys. They want to
Well,
travel. But why
they
would
live
they
in
want a
a
house?
they live in a poor low conditions.
Good job. all right, because they live in these poor conditions. The house that they live in right now is not the best, right? And they feel that it's not the best. All right, so this is showing what that the kids are aware of their circumstances, of their poverty, and they dream of a better lifestyle or better living conditions. Okay, so dreaming of a house is not typical from young kids. Okay, this is usually an adult dream to have a house. All right, if your parents ask you, Muhammad, what do you want? You wouldn't say I want a house, right? You would say maybe I want a bike, I want a car, a game, video game, or whatever it is that you want. But for a child to or for children to dream about a house or having a house, it shows definitely that they are unhappy with their living conditions, their current living conditions, or they see that the house that they live in is not, is not so great, and this is their way of hoping for what, for a better life or for an
Maybe
improved life.
maybe at the school they're a little jealous.
Maybe they feel lower, like you mean like they feel different
Yeah,
than their
or maybe just jealous because the other
because other
students
people
has
live in
a
better
nice
houses.
yeah.
That could be the case. Maybe they see that that others are living in better conditions and they also want to be equal. Okay, what, you have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something kind of off topic. I
Sure.
find this part funny because, like, I remember my brother said that he wanted to teach me how to play chess, and when he taught me how to play chess, I won the first game against him.
Oh wow.
Just like how this part said she
Oh
won.
wow, that's good. I was just gonna actually talk about chess right now. Good job, Yoed. That's very interesting. I personally do not play chess, but I always thought that it was. I always heard also that it was a mindful game, and also it's very it teaches intelligence and fast thinking. Here we know that Lin is
Yeah.
characterized
Also,
also as a
just
genius.
mis- also chess
Yes,
doesn't need only mind. It needs a lot of
Strategy.
strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Good
a
job.
lot of strategy. It's not like okay, I'm just gonna take out everybody and then take out the king. It's like about strategy. How am I gonna get the guards first, then the horses, then the elephants, then the king?
Yes. I see that you play that. You play it, Muhammad. You play chess.
Yeah, a lot of
Good.
times.
Good
I
job.
cannot
What
a
about
lot.
you, Kareem?
I want to say that as a child, when we dream about having houses, it's because when we have this house and we own it, we will make it with no rules. We get candy in any time and play like this.
That's true. That is true. Yes. Good. And it's also gives you a sense of security. Like you said, Kareem, when you own your own house and you make your own rules, you live by your own rules, it gives you a sense of security. Okay. A sense of that you're secured. And this is what the family is craving. All right. So again here we see we have met Lynn. We have characterized Lynn and her personality. She's smart. She's kind-hearted. She's very spiritual. She loves nature and everything around her. She's very close to Katie and she takes care of her. Katie values Lynn and knows how much that she cares for her. She thinks that she owes her life because she saved it. And Lynn also thinks that Katie is responsible for saving her life. So it's kind of like a give and take relationship. All right. When they opened the fridge, they found an envelope filled with money. And this is the parents' savings. And why do you think the parents were saving money? To buy a house. Okay. So this is why they think that they're going to be purchasing a house very soon because inside the envelope they saw cash. Is that real? I said. Uh huh. It belongs to mom and dad. It's for our house. We're going to buy. We lived in a little rented house in Iowa. Rented means it's not yours. Okay. You pay a monthly